What's up, everybody? Stacking Surfer here. Welcome to the channel. Tonight, we're going to have a fun little live stream. I got some great stuff we're going to go through. So for those of you that are not following me on Twitter, do check that link out down below in the description and follow. It's been fun. A lot of people are going through the political thing. Hey, I can't. My political party doesn't let me do it, or whatever. But as far as I can tell, Twitter is allowing a lot of free speech, now called X. And one of the things that I'm really enjoying with it as a format from social media is there is a lot of great posts that go out there, especially around gold and silver charts. So there's a lot of fun stuff I'm finding there. So mostly what my count is you're going to see a little bit of political stuff in there, but it's mostly going to be around gold and silver and different charts and different pieces of news that are coming out that are pretty cool. I'll also put some crypto stuff out there too. So I do a little bit of crypto investing. It's not something I necessarily recommend for anybody. There's reasons I do it. I am in technology, and it's based on the technology. It's not based on trying to get rich quick off of it. There's a few things that are out there for me. Go watch another channel if you want to find out whether doing crypto is a good thing or not. In general, it's not a technology that I see as being monetary. It's something that I see as software and technology. I don't know if Kenshi's going to jump back on here or not, but he left a couple comments for us already. Anyway, so we're going to talk today mostly about silver, a little bit about gold, and then I'm going to show you a couple things on Bitcoin, why I'm hesitant on putting money into Bitcoin. We are going to hit that a little bit today too, because I think that's important to look at. So, and if anybody here does have Bitcoin, I'd love to have you guys towards the end of this leave some comments or at least talk about this a little bit, because I am curious to see your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. But it's one of the reasons I go heavier into gold and silver than anything else, as far as those three categories are concerned. But anyway, you saw the thumbnail. So I want to jump into an article that came out by Kitco News around Samsung's new battery technology and what that could mean for silver. That's really kind of the subject of the night. And then, as always, if we get up to 50 thumbs up, I'm going to do sticker giveaways. So I got these two guys today. These are kind of fun. And if we get up to 100 likes, we'll do a silver giveaway. And as always, if we get up to 1,000 likes, we will do a big silver giveaway. So 10-ounce silver bar. So let's see if we can get to that one of these days and hit that. That would be a great giveaway to give out to one of you guys. All right, so let me get my screen set up here so I can share with you. And real quick too, hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so already. That wakes up the algorithm. And then also hit the subscribe and bell icon if you haven't done so yet. Got a lot of really good stuff that's going to be coming now. Have another fun video coming out for you guys on Friday as well. Okay, so yep, that's the article. All right, let me get this here so I can share it with you guys. Okay. All right. So hopefully this is coming up right. I'll set it right here. Okay, perfect. All right, so this is interesting. And this was published by Kitco News. It looks like the author is Jordan Finiseth. And I thought the picture was pretty cool. I actually used AI to create a alternative version of his picture that you guys see on the thumbnail. Anyway, silver is set to soar on Samsung's solid-state battery breakthrough. And this is from the analysts. So first off, let me explain a couple different kinds of technologies here with batteries. So you have the batteries that are used in Tesla EVs, as well as a lot of the other EVs, and they are a liquid material inside of a case, and they are primarily composed of lithium. There's a few other components in there, like nickels in there as well, and there's other things that go into there. I believe there's some silver in there as well to a degree too. I don't know all the components of it, but what I do know is if you rupture these batteries, they do explode, and you cannot put that fire out. You have to wait until all the energy has been consumed. And I do have experience with this. One of the reasons I do not own a Tesla or I do not own an EV is I have seen two Tesla Model 3s burn up on the Southern California freeways in front of me, and I've had to wait 45 minutes on the freeway to watch this thing burn down to the rims on the tires and the frame. Everything's gone. Hopefully the people got out of the cars. But I've seen that happen twice. And that can happen if the batteries are punctured. Additionally, if you have a car where you can have flooding, if they get flooded and there's any kind of a crack there, the water can blow these things up too. So this is a different technology. Okay, this is a technology that's based on a solid state battery, which I think is pretty cool. When you get into solid state batteries, they tend to last a lot longer. They also have a lot less risk. So throw comments down below. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on EVs or not, but we'll get to those in just a second. I want to read some of this article to show you guys some things here too, which I think is pretty interesting. So let's just go down to this part here. Also, the liquid batteries we have today, liquid lithium batteries, take forever to charge. So if I go from Southern California to Las Vegas, I've got to go on I-15, Interstate 15. And there's a place you usually stop at. I think it's out in Baker that's called Wally's World, I think is what it's called. And they have a whole bunch of Tesla superchargers. The problem is there's so many Teslas here now, you could end up waiting 6 hours to get a charging slot. And then because of the distance you're going to Las Vegas, it takes about 2 hours to charge the battery up to get it full. You can't just go 80%. You're going to die in the middle of the desert. So you will see people there with Teslas having to wait 6 to 8 hours just to charge the vehicle and go. That sucks. I'm not playing that game. So here's a couple of things I want to point out to you guys. The key drivers that will ramp up demand for EVs are range, charge time, battery life, and safety, says Bambro. Samsung's new solid-state battery technology incorporates a silver carbon composite layer for the anode. Guys, I haven't read this article yet. So anode, and exemplifies this advancement. So silver's exponential electrical conductivity and stability are leveraged to enhance battery performance and durability, achieve an amazing, check this out, 600-mile range. Okay, right now, most of the EVs are somewhere in the 200 to 300-mile range. A 600-mile range, I would be able to get to southern Utah from here, maybe even in the middle of Utah from Southern California on a single charge. That's a game changer for an EV, number one. Number two, it's a 20-year lifespan. I believe the batteries that are in most EVs now have maybe about 5 to 6 years before they need to be replaced in the car. And then some of those are repurposed for home backup systems. But a 20-year lifespan is amazing. That's way better than now. But look at this here, a 9-minute charge. If you can get a 600-mile range on a 9-minute charge, all of a sudden now an EV, at least from a standpoint of getting out to a distance, total game changer, right? And then the fact that it's a solid state battery, it should not have the same explosive nature as a liquid lithium battery. And so all of a sudden now you take that risk away too. Okay, so let's see here. Oh my gosh, my allergies are killing me today, guys. The main thing I wanted to point out down here is it's a 100 kilowatt hour capacity, which is a big battery too, by the way, because that's how they're getting to that 600-mile range. But it's, and by the way, the 100 kilowatts, if you have better technology, doesn't mean it has to be bigger. It just, you're able to pack more energy in there. But this battery would have 1 kilogram of silver per vehicle. I didn't see in here, I don't see anything in here that says how much they currently have, but this is, I know this is a lot more silver than typical. I think most EV cars may only have like a 1 or 2 ounces. This is a whole kilogram. So if we continue with this green initiative and EVs continue to be a big push, this is something that could be bullish for silver. Okay. So that's one of the things I wanted to hit here. So they're talking about with global production standing at around 80 million vehicles per year. If 20% of these vehicles, or 16 million EVs, were to adopt Samsung's solid-state batteries, the annual demand for silver would go up to 16,000 metric tons. Okay, that's insane, guys. So, and that is approximately 25,000 metric tons annually. So, that'd be huge. It says this would represent a significant portion of the current global silver production. All right. So I think that's pretty cool. So I want to see what you guys left in the comments here. See if you guys have any thoughts on this. So I'm going to go back for a second here and just pull up comments. Oh, thank you guys. I just hit 9,000 subscribers. I'll put a post out tomorrow on that. The key is let's get to 10. If you guys can help me get to 10 by the end of September, we're going to be doing a gold and silver GA party. If it goes beyond that, it'll probably just be silver. I'll end up using the gold to promote the channel to get more views and more subscribers. But if we can get there by the end of September, then I can give you guys the gold instead of having to use it to market the channel. But thank you, and looking forward to that. So share that with your friends out there too. So here's an interesting comment from Craig. I've done work on EV cars, and they are such a nuisance, which is why I will never own one. So I would agree. The way EVs are today, I would not own one of those. And I'm going to go off screen for a second here because my eyes are just dying, guys. All right, I'm going to be right back. Just a second. All right, maybe I'm getting a little bit of a cold. I don't know. Something's going on. My body's under attack. So I'll leave it on this screen as we're talking about this for a minute. So I do want to talk about that for a minute here. As I see EVs today, I'm not going to say don't buy one. I'm going to say I don't think it's a great idea for me and my family. There's a lot of reasons. I need better range. I still think these are very heavy and do a lot of damage on the road. And then a lot of our roads are getting ripped up due to EVs. We don't have snow here. And then I think the other issue you run into is, the cost and then having to sit there forever to charge things. So for me, this is something that could change it to make it a little bit more favorable. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. Craig again. Yep, the EV chargers are only in a few places, and there are more companies who also have the adapters for those charge ports, and it takes forever. Yeah, it does. The other issue is if we have more and more vehicles that are doing it, the electrical grid is going to start to have major problems, and we're going to have a lot of issues. So Craig's on a roll here today for us. So the other issue we've got here is definitely looking at people damaging these as they have the ability to use the metals inside to make some money on it. And then let's see the last one here, Roy. If new battery tech hits the market in the next couple of years, would you really want to be owning the older tech? For sure, no. So, the only other thing that I would look at, guys, let's see if I can do this right. Let me get this bigger. I don't know if I'm going to get that bigger. Okay. I'll show you the other screen in just a minute here. So the other thing I'll tell you guys around EVs too is the technology changes so drastically. If you're looking to buy one right now, I would personally, this is not financial advice, nothing on the channel is financial advice. Personally, if I were to go buy one today, I would probably lease it, even though I don't like the idea of leasing. I don't want to be stuck with a battery technology that's going to be outdated that people may not want down the road. Okay, so let's, I got a couple more I want to bring up here and show you guys real quick. Okay, there we go. So that worked. Okay, now let me get the next one I wanted to show you here real quick. Okay, we're going to share the All right, we're going to do it like this. You guys can see my screen for a second, but hopefully this will take you to the right screen. Let's see if it does it. Okay, good. All right. So a couple other things I wanted to take you guys past, and we're going to run through all of these X posts up here. So from this guy here, he basically is talking about, in the crust, there is about 20 times more silver than gold. Okay, that's kind of interesting. We're going to look at another stat of that too. But the mining of silver to gold is only about 8-to-1. I thought that picture was kind of cool. That'd make kind of a fun desk display if you could make something like that. But he's obviously pushing for the silver squeeze. But here you go. There's a lot more silver that is in the crust than we're able to get to, guys. However, it is getting a little bit harder. So, oh, these got out of order already. Why did that happen? Just a second, guys. This is the one I wanted to show next. Okay, so this is the other thing I wanted to show here. Hopefully I can blow this up okay. So when we're looking at the gold to silver ratio right now, which should actually be called the silver to gold ratio. But when we look at the gold to silver ratio, we're seeing about 85, 86 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. However, when you go to mine it out of the ground, I think we're coming in around 12-to-1. And then when you look at what's here, it's saying the mining ratio is 7-to-1. I've heard that it's around 12-to-1 too. It's a lot smaller. So why in the world is the price so much different? These are both precious metals and they both have different uses, but 85 seems really off. I think on average, we've been closer to 40 in modern days, and we've had it go as high as, I think, 105. So something is very off with how silver is being priced and manipulated today. This one I want to show you guys that I thought was pretty cool that I found here. And this is a good point I want to bring up today for us too. So when you look at this one here, what's interesting is it'll show you each layer of how silver is used, okay? And so I wish I could get this bigger. It's kind of hard for you guys to see it on the screen. I don't know if there's a way to enlarge it. But you can see the electrical and electronics is the bottom section here, and you can see the percentage demand that's increasing. So the main thing I want to point out to you guys here is you've got silver manipulation that seems to be going on. We've got a lot of proof of it by big banking institutions that are shorting it all the time. And then we have a large percentage of silver's demand coming from the industrial use. So if you look at this chart here, you'll see the bottom section is industrial use. And then you'll see other industry up here. If you can see where my mouse is, let's see. Yeah, you can see my mouse. Those two sections there are for industry. If you take those two sections and we go into a major recession or to a depression, you're going to see the use and demand for silver go down quite a bit. And so you can see silver's price get affected a lot more, in my opinion, than you would see gold in a recession and into a depression. So that's just something to be aware of out there. This is a thing that I wanted to show you guys. Hopefully the sound will come through because it was kind of funny. So let's see if we can get this to work. I think this is Family Guy. I don't know. I've never watched that show. Okay, I don't know if you could hear what he was saying or not, but the words are on there. So one of my dreams has been to get a pool ever since I saw DuckTales when I was a kid, and to jump into it. So I always thought that would be pretty cool. So anyway, that's kind of fun, but don't do that. That'll probably break your neck. All right, next one I wanted to hit here. Okay, good. This one will be a little bigger for us, which is good. This one here I wanted to show you guys. There is a lot of belief out there that we have just seen now a massive cup and then a handle, which when those happen, I believe it's about an 80% probability that you will break out to the top and about a 20% probability you'll break out going lower. And basically this is showing inflation, but what I really wanted to show you guys here is the idea of these breakouts we saw in the 1970s and in 2001 to 2011. Could we have another breakout here in 2020, right? Could we see that come into here? So I'm curious to you guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you think we're going to see a silver breakout this year. And if you don't think so, please put a 2 in the chat if you think we're not going to see a silver breakout, that silver is going to disappoint again, and it's going to start going back down, and we're just not going to see it. And what happens is that with a cup and handle is if you don't have that breakout to the upside, it ends up not being a cup and handle. It's something else. It could be a part of a bigger cup. So if you look in the past here, you see all these different swooping times. Someone may have thought, hey, this is a cup and handle. This is a cup and right here. This might have looked like a cup and handle in the 80s where you had this cup and then a little handle here. And so you see those patterns and you try to figure these out. That's what charting guys are trying to do. That's why I'm not going to tell you to go buy anything based on this, but I want to see. Roy says 1.5, so he's not sure. we got a bunch of people saying 2 that we're not going to have a breakout. Okay, we got a couple with 1. OC Stacker says it depends on what Powell says on Friday. Okay, so that'll be a factor. Okay, this is another thing that I thought was kind of cool that came up in the news. A 400-ounce gold bar, which would be a really heavy gold bar, by the way, and something that would be awesome to get your hands on and just fill it. That has now become worth $1 million. Okay. I don't know why that's such a big deal, but there were a bunch of posts on it, and I thought I would at least share it with you guys. So that's kind of cool. What happens when we have the 100-ounce bar that's $1 million? That'll be the bigger issue. Okay, this is another one I wanted to pull up that's kind of cool too. Gold and gold miners as a percentage of total assets is very, very small right now compared to the past. I think a lot of that is probably due to cryptos taking a lot of the money out of gold and silver. I think it's also probably due to a lot of people putting money in equities and into real estate. But that's something that's kind of interesting there as well. In addition to that, I think a lot of us don't buy mining stocks. We tend to buy the physical a lot more. But I'm seeing a lot of buzz around the gold and silver mining stocks as being something that are way undervalued, and we could really see a big increase. So here's the other thing I'd like to see you guys put in the chat too for me real quick is if you invest in gold or silver miners, put a 3 in. And if you don't, put a 4 in. I'm curious to see what you guys do with that too. So Time Lapse mentions, remember the movie Italian Job? They stole a bunch of gold bars and moved them out in 3 cars. Yes, that was a cool movie. And I always wanted to do that. I thought it'd be cool. All right, we got a lot of 4s, so you guys aren't investing in those. So that's something to at least keep your eye on and kind of look at. It's not a way to stack, but it might be a way to grow your stack. This is another picture that I think is important for us to look at. This is global central bank gold purchases. So in this one, you're looking at the price of gold going up here is the line, and then the bar charts is the amount of gold. So the line here coincides with the right side of the chart. The bar graph coincides with the left side, and that's in I think it's in metric tons of gold, but maybe it's just in tons. Anyway, you can see a lot of purchasing has been happening and going on since about 2021 here. There was a little lull there, but end of 2021, maybe the beginning of 2022, there's been a lot of gold purchasing going on, and it continues to go on. So if the central banks are doing it, there's a reason they're doing it. They probably see a lot of stability issues coming up, problems with the fiat system. So that's something to be aware of. This is another one on the miners. You can see that gold's going up and the miners have basically been flat. So if that's something you ever consider doing, there could be some big opportunities there. It's also big risk. I bought miners 2 years ago and ended up selling them a year ago because they just did nothing. And I probably should have held on to them. They would have actually been up by now to a degree, but I have bought some recently, and I'll kind of show you guys what ends up happening with those to see what happens. All right, this was another point that I wanted to bring out that I think is pretty good. Up until 1913, Americans kept all their earnings. We did not have the income tax. Right now, we have a political party candidate for president that is shouting basically at the rooftops that she wants to put out a 25%, let's see, 45% capital gains tax, which would be either the highest or the second highest we've ever had. And then she's also wanting to put out a 25% tax on unrealized gains. Now, that would be for people that are making hundreds of millions of dollars, but that's how it all starts, guys. It started here in 1913 with a 1% tax to the rich people. I think it was to the millionaires. And all of a sudden now I'm paying like 38 to 48%, depending on how much charity donations I do in a year. I'm paying a ton of taxes and we weren't supposed to ever get it. So someone lied to us, to our grandparents and great grandparents to get this thing put in place. So be aware of how you're voting and what the laws are that they're looking to change. It could drastically affect you and your family's life. And here's the other thing: we didn't have income tax, and we still had schools, roads, colleges, a military. We still had commerce. We had all that stuff going on. All right. This is another thing I just found on the web that I thought would be interesting for you guys. Liquidity is going up. So when I see liquidity going up like this, that tells me that there's more money that's going to be going into the markets at some point. So be aware of that. And the last thing I just wanted to show you guys is on Bitcoin. I hear from a lot of people that the reason they like Bitcoin is because it's decentralized and it has no risk. I've had people tell me there's no risk to Bitcoin. I can give you 20 of them if you want. Just send me an email and I'll give you all 20 of them. If I ever hold a Bitcoin, it's because I want to have something that's fairly liquid to transfer great distances. It's not going to be because I believe it's just going to keep going up and it's a great asset. I'd rather hold gold and silver for that purpose. But what I wanted to point out here that I think is very important that people aren't talking about is the top 10 holders of Bitcoin is, first off, a person or organization that we don't know anything about, and they hold a lot of it still. Is that person going to show up? Is that organization going to show up and dump their Bitcoin? All the rest of them are either governments or large companies. So when people tell me that it's completely a decentralized technology, in theory it is, but it becomes centralized as soon as you have 10 players that can manipulate it and basically control the price of it. And yes, individuals own it inside of those companies, but they control what happens with it. They can also control other issues that can happen to it. So that's just another thing I found out there that I wanted to share with you guys. All right. So I'll take that off. Let's see. I want to go back to the comments from you guys real quick. So let's see where we left off. Okay. All right, we're past the EV stuff, so I'm going to pass all that real quick. Yeah, I was searching for the channel and I typed Silver Surfer channel. There you go. A lot of people call me Silver Surfer. I did not pick the name because I was concerned Disney would sue my butt at some point. Maybe I should have done it anyway. It would have probably blown the channel up faster. But I did notice someone about a year ago, so about a year after I started my channel, has gone with the name of Silver Surfer. So there is someone that's out there doing that. Okay. So yeah, do watch what Powell says on Friday, guys. That could affect things here for sure. So Tim says he thinks silver is going to hit $35 an ounce by the end of the year. I'll tell you guys at the end here what my predictions are. Silver Lightning 333 is surprised that it hasn't already broken out. Me too. I think it should break out based on the charts, but they're manipulated. So. All right, I think I'm getting cold, unfortunately. All right, we've got the price is finicky due to the fact that it is an election year. We do have all of that going on, and the policies are going to affect it, guys. That's for sure. Time lapse, his or her, I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but My silver to gold ratio is around 10 to 1 in value, heavy in silver. What are your ratios? Okay, so um, I'd have to look at it. I'll tell you guys in ounces is what I'll tell you what my ratio is. Just a second. I have 50 ounces of silver for every ounce of gold I have. That's where I'm sitting at right now. So I'm still fairly heavy in gold, but I do have quite a bit of silver as well. So ratios can get out of whack depending on how much money you're storing in precious metals. Um, if you're storing less than $50,000 in precious metals, um, if I were doing that, I would be much heavier in silver. I'd probably be in the 300 to 400 um, ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. Just because I'm building up to that. If you're much heavier than that, you're going to probably have a lower ratio. Yes, I agree to that. They didn't have that many cars in 1913. I don't know. I know the Model T was out at that time. I don't know how many cars were out there, but if that was New York or San Francisco, wherever the picture was from, it is possible that they had heavier cars there. But you'd still see some horse and carriages. You'd also see some of the like trolleys going down too. You'd have that in play. All right, let's see. Michael Burry bought Sprott Physical Gold Trust, valued at $7.6 million at the end of Q1, and making the fifth largest position in his portfolio. But then he sold it all in Q2. Be careful following Michael Burry. Okay, he did make a good call on the Big Short, but I followed him for the last couple of years, and some of the stuff's been a little bit iffy that he does. He does some extreme things, so be careful following him. But he sees that Warren Buffett's also been liquidating a lot of his shares in other companies or ownership in it. He sold half of his Apple position. To me, that looks like he's expecting the economy to have a downturn, and he's holding a massive amount of cash. So why is he not buying gold? Why is he not buying silver? He doesn't like assets that don't create cash flow, and he also prefers to buy businesses that are that have a lot of value in them because there's a lot of upside that he can put his managers into and fix it. Here we go, guys. 45 people in here watching, 48, and we're sitting at 33 likes. Let's get it up to 50. So here's Roy's or Roy Lane's ratio. He's 165 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. All right, what do we got here? Okay, this is interesting too. I'm top heavy on silver and hold more crystallized osmium than gold. Okay, so that's cool. 1913 Ford began the assembly line. Okay, then I guess the Model T came out probably a year or two after that. So yeah, maybe that picture is a little early for the average person. At least gives the idea out there of what it might look like. If you're not showing any cars, you start feeling like it's probably into the 1800s. Okay, any moves you're planning on making with these higher prices? So what I'll tell you guys, I recently bought some gold and silver from Costco last Saturday. And the only reason I did that is because I was able to buy gold below spot price, plus then get another 4% back. So there's a savings there. I've put them on eBay and I'm looking to flip them. No one's biting on them quite yet, so I think I'm probably going to have to lower the price down a little bit. For me, it was kind of a quick flip that I might do, and if I end up holding on to, I'm okay with that as well. And then with the silver, I'm holding on to right now, looking to flip my bars for rounds or coins down the road with a wholesaler. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I like to hold gold, and one of the reasons I hold more gold is I am putting more of my savings into it, and I'm not looking for some big upswing in a price. I'm basically holding it there instead of holding it in my bank. I do have cash that I hold on to as well. But as far as the gold goes, it's much easier to liquidate. And oftentimes I'm making money because it has continued to go up the last 3 years or so, 4 years, since I've started doing it. And I'm making a better return than if I put it in the bank as a CD. So I do that with some of the gold too. Let's see what else you guys have. So lithium and uranium stocks can be good too. You got to look at the stocks and you got to look at how those markets are doing to understand if now is a good time to buy or sell. Those will always change, but lithium is going to be important if we continue to have this older battery technology. If we start to get this new technology with silver, I need to look into that, because when you get into the solid state, I think there is still some lithium, but I don't think there's nearly as much. I think they're using other metals. I could be wrong with that, though. Club osmium. The only thing osmium knows is up. Yeah. I think osmium's cool. I've looked at it. I've handled it. The biggest issue with it is there's not much of a resale market. So it's definitely going to be a long-term hold for you guys. Goldbacks are cool. I like goldbacks. I'm hoping to get up to Utah here soon to go do some interviews with them as well, with the Goldback Company, and also with UPMA. And I'm hoping to get a stack of goldbacks. When we do coin shows here in Long Beach, the goldbacks are pretty popular. A lot of people like those. And the way that I can buy them below, a wholesale cost, below the retail cost, I can get them for, I think it's 6% below what the trading value of them are. I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. I just haven't been able to get a hold of Goldback. And as soon as I can, I will. I'm going to share that with you guys, how to do that. There's a way for you to get Goldbacks at a way cheaper price than any of the online dealers. So we'll be working on that. Neophyte has his UPMA account. So if you've got a UPM account, you can go through and buy the Goldbacks. So I'm just in the process of trying to get that set up to help refer you guys for that. But if you can find someone that has that too, you'll get a benefit of that. Let's see. I wouldn't stack Goldbacks though. How I use Goldbacks is I think they're great to put in your car. No one's going to know what the heck those things are. So it's great for like putting in your glove box and locking your glove box and leaving them in there for emergencies. If you can get to a coin store, you're going to be able to liquidate those. I think the singles are really great for giving out as tips. They're going for about $5 now, so you can give a $5 tip with one of those. I always ask the person first, and what I found is it's kind of mixed. If they're having to share the tips with multiple people, it gets really hard to split a 5 Goldback. So if it's a small tip, it may not work. But if you're tipping them, say $20 worth or more, you're having a nice dinner, you could consider doing some cash and Goldbacks. And then the last thing is my bug out bags. I don't have them in there yet, but that's one of the reasons I want to go get some more of them, is I want to be able to put them in my bug out bags. I think they're perfect for that. It's way less weight than silver. And I think it's something you'd still be able to trade with. It says what it is on there. You may have to do a little explaining, but you're going to have to do the same thing with silver coins that look like regular money. Anyway, you're going to have to explain that, hey, anything from 1964 and older is real silver. So that's my take on that. Yeah, you can't actually hold it in your hands, guys, osmium, but you can hold the little cases that have the little piece of osmium in them. So that's what I mean by handling them. Now, this is true. We've been hearing some of this buzz too, that we could see an issue with Mexico shutting down its silver mining. I think that's kind of interesting, because that goes against a lot of the global stuff that's going on. That might be pressure coming from the BRICS nations. I know Mexico wants to get into the BRICS. It could be that they're putting pressure there to make it harder for people to get their hands on the metals. Okay, so we've got retail jewelry alone as a long hold is a grossly inaccurate statement. Timestamp in that one. So I do have a little bit of jewelry, but I don't do a ton of jewelry stuff. But it can work, guys. So can sterling silver. Um, there's Silver Dave that goes on Yankees channel. He's got his own channel too, and he started making items out of silver. So I think he's got like a dumbbell made out of silver. I think maybe he did some sword stuff. I know he did some wrenches. So it's kind of a fun novelty thing to have some silver in a form that someone would look at it and not know it's silver. However, I'm pretty sure he stamps the stuff, so someone might get it. But Yankee would be able to tell us on that because I don't have any of those yet. But you can do that. You can have silver in plain sight, which is kind of cool. I think he also did a hammer in silver as well. So those are kind of cool. And then you have jewelry. One of the things I've been talking to my family, my girls about, is when you're buying jewelry, just go out and buy the real stuff. Get the real silver, get the real gold. Don't buy the less expensive stuff. And I think it's good for us to carry a little bit of silver with us in case we get into an emergency. All right, what do we got here? Yankee says, and welcome to the chat, by the way, Yankee. Thoughts on China issues, new gold import quotas after pause? I don't know. I have not read that. I'm going to have to look that up. It's on Reuters. Let's see. China issues no new gold. Let's see if we can pull it up. I'm going to type it on my computer here. Oh, it's linking over here. Okay. I don't know how to get it on this one, though. StreamYard's not going to let me link it. But I think I found it. Okay, good. All right, let's see if we can do this real quick here. All right, we're going to show the screen. Exclusive. China issues new gold import quotas after pause. Interesting. First off, that's an interesting picture. They've got the jewelry here. Several Chinese banks have been given new gold import quotas from the central bank, anticipating revived demand despite record high prices, for sources with knowledge of the matter told Reuters. New quotas aimed at helping the People's Bank of China control how much bullion enters the world's leading consumers of the precious metal, which is China, were granted in August. So this just barely happened. 2-month pause, largely due to slow physical demand in the wake of a bullish market. So if you guys remember, China has been buying a massive amount of gold, and I believe they were increasing every month that they were doing it. And then they took a 2-month pause. And after that 2-month pause, they're now coming in and basically starting to import more. And it was the central banks that were doing that. That's interesting. Okay, spot gold has gained 21% so far this year. I think all of you have kind of felt that own gold. Those of you that have silver, you're wondering, when's your silver going to go up? And one of the factors that they're equating it to here is a strong buying by China. And if the demand picks up again, it could further boost prices, is what the analysts are saying. So let's see here. Actual gold imports have been limited due to subdued demand. This suggests that China's market is currently well supplied with physical gold. Continued pause on gold purchases reinforces the notion of ample domestic supply. So that's interesting. Let's see if we have anything else on how many they've done here. Okay, so a third straight month in July, the gold holdings, they have 72.8 million troy ounces of gold. And it's the largest single buyer of gold in 2023, 7.2 million. So they bought 10% of that just last year alone. That's pretty good. Let's see, we're dealing with in another sign of muted demand, dealers in China were offering a discount of $8.5 to a $5 premium an ounce on international spot prices this week. So they have been paying a lot higher, guys, to get the gold into China. So we'll have lower prices, they'll have higher prices. So people will buy it here and they'll send it out there. We're not very smart in this country. So that's kind of what happens there. So what are my thoughts on that? I don't know. I think, you know, I think what that means to me is we've got an opportunity here for prices to continue to move up. So let me give you guys my thoughts on this too. So, hey JT, it's been a while since we chatted. Hopefully everything's going well for you. The way I see silver and gold hitting the end of this year, I think we're going to see gold around $2,500. That's been my projection for the year from the beginning of it. I think we could potentially see it higher, but that's been kind of the number that I've stated. Maybe we can get up to 3,000. Anything above 3,000 to me means that we've had some major issue from the BRICS nation. We've had some major banking issue. We'd have to have something major like a black swan event that has basically taken everybody's confidence away from the US dollar, and it's completely crashing to go above 3,000, in my opinion. To get to 3,000, there's a pathway to that. We could still hit that this year. This news on China could definitely do that. It could also hit based on who wins the election is going to change, whether we think the economy is going to continue to print, the government's going to continue to print money like crazy, or if we're going to start to shore that up and fix things. As far as silver goes, I've held a notion of $30 silver towards the end of the year. And I still think that's very possible as well. For silver to go higher, we're going to have to see some manipulation start to be curtailed. And we're also going to have to see that gold to silver ratio change drastically. So there'll have to be some indicators there. So keep an eye on the gold to silver ratio. I don't think it's something you guys can really play here, especially in physical. It's very hard. I've had a few people write to me and say, hey, can you help me trade silver to gold? I don't know anybody that does trade silver to gold unless it's a friend of yours. You go to a bullion dealer, they're going to buy your silver at a discount and they're going to sell you the gold at a premium. And if you're going the other direction, they're going to do the same thing. So you end up, if the ratio is 50 or 85, you're going to end up selling it somewhere close to like 70 to 72 on the ratio. There's going to be a massive burn rate that you're going to have there. So be very careful trying to play the gold to silver ratio physically. Right now, there's not enough spread. Now, if you can do things like one gold, I've got a video that'll be coming out that I just filmed yesterday with Levi. There are potential ways with one gold, if you're okay with storing some of your metals in a vault. They have very low premiums. You could play the gold to silver ratio a little bit easier on that system. Maybe you can play it even with mining companies, but I really wouldn't recommend that. Okay, let's see what else we got here comment-wise. So supposedly we have 4 times as much gold as anybody else. I would like to see the next president of the United States conduct an audit of the Federal Reserve and then shut them down. And then I'd like them to expose what's been going on and the truth, and then help the American people realize they don't want it. And then I would like to audit our gold supply and see exactly how much we have. If we don't have as much as we say we have, that's a huge problem. I don't even want to know what that might lead us down. But if we have it, it would be nice to be able to reaffirm that. And then I would start to say, hey, why don't we look at going back to a gold standard again? So not just with gold, also with silver, guys. So we've got another article in here that Yankee put in that you guys can click on as well. Yes, China is playing us. So let me speak for Yankee a little bit on here. So they're basically, I think a lot of people are in cahoots on this thing at a very high level in the international banking side of things. But you basically have the US banks shorting silver, shorting gold, and kind of pushing the price down to a degree. And you have China overpaying for it. So if you look at the spread on the premiums, there's a huge difference. And what they're basically doing is incentivizing all of this metal to move over to China. Why is China taking all the gold and silver? They're not doing this to Bitcoin. They're not going out and buying Ethereum. They're buying gold and silver. They know what has real value. They know what is going to be used monetarily. Something's coming. It does concern me, and we are crazy to let this happen. I don't know who's running this country is the real issue. I don't think anybody knows that right now. So that's cool. I've never seen a Cuban link bracelet. You'll have to send me a picture of that. All right, let's see what's we got here. Silver Lightning just read that the Fed is going to cut rates in September. So that is the consensus. They still have to actually do it, but we don't know if they're going to for sure do it. But it looks like it's a very high consensus that they're going to do it. Now we're kind of teetering if it's going to be 25 basis points or 50 basis points, which means a quarter of a point or half a point. Frankly, I don't think it's going to do much. I think it will get people excited. They'll put money into the stock market. They'll put money into gold and silver, and they'll put money into crypto. But I don't think it's going to do anything for the economy. I don't think it's going to stop a recession. I think all it's going to do is cause more inflation. So I frankly think they should be raising it by 5 or 6%. But I also know that would collapse everything. So I think we're just in a bad position. I think we've got to get back to a gold standard is what I think. So Yankee says, I've only been to one LCS dealer who will do a silver to gold exchange directly. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. And you may need to have a special relationship with that person to do it anyway. So, it's not really something I think people that are stacking physical are really going to play with. Now, let's say the gold to silver ratio gets down to like 20 somehow. If that were to happen and you wanted to switch out, you might be able to switch out at like 30 or 32. And maybe that's a good idea. Maybe that's something you want to do. But if it gets to that point, there's got to be a reason for it. And it's probably because silver's in way more demand. And you may not want to flip out of that. So I would go more with what I hear from Yankee and Silver Dragons on this. When the ratio's above 80, and it's 85 right now, it's a great time to be buying silver. You're going to get more bang for your buck. And when that ratio is lower, say closer to 60, it's probably a better time to be picking up some gold, at least based on historical numbers. And if it gets to 40, it's definitely a better time to be picking up gold. But you got to look at the market conditions, and you have to see if there's a reason why that ratio has drastically changed. So, all right. So we're just going to go down the comments today for you guys. Luckily, unlike Yankees channel, you can't even look at the comments. They're like flying by so fast. You got to do the super chats just to make a statement. So here we go. If gold is at 3K and it's an 85 to 1, then that would put silver at 35. Probably, I'm not doing the math on my own right at the moment here yet, but you have to keep in mind with ratios, it's a ratio. So in order for that gold to silver ratio to come down, either gold comes down in price or silver goes up in price. One of the two happens. It's a rubber band effect. So if gold hits 30,000, we're either going to see silver below 30. If it's below 30, you're going to see a ratio that's getting up into the 90s and then maybe even 100, or you're going to see it snap back up with gold and get up into the 30, 35, 40 range. So just watch out for those. Apparently, we stole a bunch from Saddam Hussein. I don't remember that, but I was always wondering if we were going to figure out how to pay for that. As long as we do it with Oxford Metals, that company just stole thousands. Yeah, don't do that. And watch out for that, guys. There are a lot of crooks out there. So I only buy from places that I know people that have bought from in the past that are reputable. Be very careful who you're buying from. And then as far as selling, I like to sell in person locally if I'm doing that. And for me, I don't want to send stuff off and have to worry about the shipping or any of that other stuff. So you've got that. I agree with this. I second this. I don't even think we should have an IRS. So I'd like to see the IRS be abolished. Okay, let's see what else we got here. All right, we hit 50, so we're going to do a GAW here just in a second. Speak for me, please. Yankee, do you want to come up? I'll let you come up, man. Here, let's do this. I'm going to throw this up. Let's see if we can get Yankee in here. All right, Yankee. Let's see if you want to come up here. You can come and say hi for a minute. All right, we're going to see if Yankee jumps in here. I'm curious. Can we get the great Yankee in here? All right. Let's see what we got here. I'm a little behind on the stream, guys. Okay. So there you go. Tim does swaps, but I do think you're going to have to pay some of the premium. It's not that people don't want to do it, guys. It's when someone comes to you and wants to do a swap, it's going to cost someone something, right? You're usually getting rid of the thing you don't want because you want to take advantage of the situation and be in a better position going forward, which means someone's going to be in a lesser position. So that's why you got the premiums and everything else that come into place. If you don't hold it, it is dangerous. However, what if you had $1 million or $2 million of gold and silver? It might be dangerous to have that much in your house too, especially if you live in the city like I do, or kind of the city areas. You got to be careful with that. All right. Yankee has more gold and silver than China. I don't think so, dude. That's a lot of, China's got a lot of gold and silver. That's funny. Yeah, we need a rigged wheel. I don't have a rigged wheel. We'll have to do that. Oh my gosh. All right, let me check something, guys. Okay. Well, we'll see if Yankee's still on here. He may have had to drop. But Yankee, if you're on, I do have the link in the stream there. Let me see if I can. I've pinned it at the top now. So it's up there at the top. All right. Okay, so JT, thank you for the super chat. He wants Yankee to come up. All right, we'll try to do that, guys. We'll see if Yankee jumps in. Hopefully this will work and allow him to get in here. Rain check. Okay, we'll talk over our next one-to-one. It's coming soon, guys. So we'll do a show. So you guys, Yankee has the best wheel. I know a lot of you think it's rigged, but I don't know. I see a lot of different people winning it all the time. I have a hard time believing it's rigged. So I'm in the not rigged camp. Yeah, he's not in a good place tonight. That's fine. We'll do another time, Yankee. It's all good. So the first silver I ever won was actually on Yankee's channel, and it was the little 1/5 ounce rounds, and I'm forgetting the name of them. It's from the anyway, I forget. And then I got another round from him too, so it was fun to win those. But the wheel moves so fast; it is so hard to follow it, and he's done some amazing engineering to actually make that thing work. So I've tried to do some of my own wheels. It takes a lot of programming. I gave up on it. Now we'll just do a random optimizer. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We're going to do the giveaway. So I think my cold's kicking in here. All right. So the first one's going to be. All right, guys, let me just get this set up. Okay, here we go. So type this in the chat, and that is for Surfer Dude right there. I think the surfboard looks kind of fun and cool. What do you guys think? So put the hashtag and then the words in there, and we'll do this GAW. That's the first GAW, is the sticker. Craig won the last one. Amy, welcome to the stream. Good to have you. All right, so we got a bunch of people coming in. I'm gonna share the screen so you guys can see it loading up. Wait a second. I got 2 entries. Did you guys put it in right? It might be cap sensitive. No, I see more people with it in there. I think it's cap sensitive. And it's not surfing dude. Oh, I think it is cap sensitive, guys. So go ahead and just paste this back in. Copy that if you're on a computer. Oh, I did. Suffer, dude. All right, it's been a long day, apparently. There you go. All right, we're gonna go with it anyway. Oh my gosh. That's what happens sometimes when you got the live stuff going, apparently. All right, we're at 9 now. Let's see if we can get up to 20. We got like 54 people in here. I know some of you are watching it on TV. You may not be able to participate in the chat, but there you go. It reminds me of Tiger Stacker. If any of you guys know Tiger Stacker, he has a bowl that he would put coins in that he's given away, and he accidentally spilled it out as bowel. So now it says bowel. All right, we're at 12. Let's see if we can get up to 20. I'll give it another minute here. And then next, we're going to do this sticker. This one's pretty cool. We'll do that as a giveaway. All right, we're at 13. I'm going to give it another 30 seconds, and then we're gonna throw it on here. Okay, while we're doing that too, what I would like to do is one last question I'm going to ask you guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you are planning on buying or have bought silver this week. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not buying right now. You're basically on hold. And put a 3 in the chat if you're selling your silver. All right, we're at 16. All right, we're going to run this thing. It better not pick me. Winner is Michael Stacking. Congrats, man. All right, we're going to send that out to you. So that's this guy right here. He's fun. Kind of a fun sticker. All right, next one we're going to do is this guy right here, Stacking Surfer. It's kind of like a holographic, fun little sticker. All right, we're going to do that one. I'm going to put a different word in here. We're going to make this one easier. There you go. We're going to spell it the right way this time. So we're going to put surfer in. But I think this works a lot better than doing the random questions and having you guys guess them and then having to pick from a lot of people. That just was not working. Hashtag easier. I'm sorry, guys. I know. I didn't even spell suffer right. I know. We just had to go with it because it was already collecting people. Oh, my goodness. All right, we're at 22. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can get more people in. And we are going to keep playing the game as the channel grows too. So when we hit 50, I'm going to do sticker gauze. When we hit 100, we'll do silver gauze. And I'm serious. If we can get to 1,000 on the live stream, I'm going to do a 10-ounce bar. So that would be really fun. The wheel is so less rigged. Oh, man. I think that's hilarious. All right. I think we're good. We got 24 in here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw it. Let's see who we get. Amy, congrats. All right, Amy, this one's coming your way right there. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for coming tonight. I've got a fun video that's going to be coming out on Friday. It's going to be Huntington Beach, another silver surfer on the street. I think you guys are going to enjoy that video, and it's going to be fun. So I met with a couple families. We met with a couple kids that thought they were really funny, and it's going to be interesting. We're talking about half dollars, Klondike bars, and also we were talking about silver dollars. And anyway, good education, good fun at the pier. So look for that on Friday. And then I don't know, we'll see what else is coming out. I'll kind of give you guys some heads up as we have new videos coming out. But until next time, peace out and thank you for coming.